What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. Tonight, we're going to be talking about postseason scouting. It is now February 8th. All big game seasons here in Pennsylvania have closed, so let's dive into it. What are you primarily looking for postseason scouting?
You know, I'm actually going to start off with a question to you guys. Do you run your cameras postseason? I mean, wait, like this time, right?
Yeah.
In this time. And then if so, how long are you running them for? When do you take
I'm going to run mine until probably the middle of March.
March?
Okay. What about you, Elias?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I'm going to play it and see what happens. I got my spy point is out, and that's a cell cam, so I've been getting coyote pictures off that, but that's about it. A couple bear late in the year, but I got the 4 other cameras still going. Just trying to track and see when the bucks do drop their antlers. And we got a family of bobcats, so yeah, just trying to watch some of the predators here in the off season. So it's working, and hopefully maybe helping spring turkey, give an idea of how the turkeys are traveling the land too. But might end up running them all year round, I'm not sure. Yeah. At this point, that's probably the plan, but we'll see.
Well, I guess I'm the oddball out. I pulled most of mine, pre-rifle season because I've yet to really hunt the game lands by me during rifle season. I don't know how much pressure it gets. And most of my cameras this year were up high, looking down, and which definitely helped, I think, because I had people walk right underneath it with small game and never had a clue they were there. Blended really well, but some of them were lower, and I really didn't want to lose them. Like my Exodus was mounted lower. I really didn't want to lose a $150 Exodus. But I did run them on my in-laws' property. They got a small piece, and I ran them back there. Just honestly, Elias was going to come out, and that got butchered with COVID because somebody had to go and get COVID and get quarantined for a while. But no, I do not have any cameras out right now. Quite frankly, I don't know where I'd put them right now.
I guess it's just part of the game. I know you talked about jumping game lands, kind of seeing what else is out there. Me personally, I have one camera running right now. Probably going to pull it relatively soon with all the other things going. Keep up with it, but as cameras go, I don't think I'm going to be running a whole lot outside of the season. Obviously, when it gets closer, I'll put them back out. But as of now, I'm probably going to pull that last one. And days like today, days where we've had snow on the ground for a day or two, that's where I think we really need to take advantage of having that snow and seeing where those deer are traveling during this time.
Oh, absolutely. So, for instance, like I work at a hospital and we have a big old campus, and it's pretty incredible. I'm a mechanic there, and I can get up on roofs and everything like that. You go up on the roof and you look out at the tree line. You can look where they all start funneling out of the tree line, where they all feed and where they all head back in. It's pretty. The snow, I mean, and I don't even think last year, did we really get snow here in PA? I can't even remember.
No, not really. I mean,
not around our area. No.
This year seemed
light snow last year during season. This year we had one good snow during season, and now postseason.
Yeah. Now we're supposed to keep getting. I guess tonight they're even calling for a little bit down our way. But yeah, I'm definitely, when I can get out and scout and there's snow on the ground, it's awesome. It's also nice for, like, when Elias and I went out, we hit some game lands trying to get some either fox or coyotes or really whatever came in, you can see that there's a ton of boot tracks there. And that's another thing you got to look at is you can see where the guys are going. Now, granted, the only thing in besides predator is small game. But if people are out scouting instead of small game hunting or scouting while they're small game hunting, who knows where they're going. So it gives you a good idea on the traffic through there, even for postseason.
Yeah, so I guess besides the snow, whenever we don't have the snow as a convenience, just to see their general patterns in this time, what are you guys looking for whenever there's no snow on the ground during late season?
I'm pretty much looking for what food, if I can find a food source, what is their late season food source? I mean, I'll keep referencing the game lands I have down here. Most of the acorns are gone in the woods. You might find one here and there, but they're all now migrating down to the bottom where they have fields, but they stock pheasants. So during the season, they all get bumped back up to the top because small game hunters and pheasant hunters, which just as much their right to be there as mine. So it's kind of difficult with the deer moving up and down the mountain all the time, find it. But now they're definitely all deer signs down low, near the creek, near the road, near the fields. So
yeah, food source is definitely something interesting this time of year, just because, I mean, when food is scarce, they can just about eat it. Right now, for what I'm seeing, is they're eating a lot of pine and rhododendron. You can see all the tracks that just obviously just accumulate around those rhododendrons, and where they're eating the leaves, and they're messy eaters, so you can see like bits of rhododendron right on top of the snow. I mean, yeah, they'll eat just about everything. But yeah, at least that's what I'm seeing. I guess it just varies depending where you're at. But Cody, how about you?
Well, for here, we got a big snow after the season ended. We got something like 23 inches of snow.
Oh.
What I saw, and I have a big field that I didn't plant this year. All I did was brush hog it. And so it grew up in a lot of greens and hitting that in early season and rifle season. But once we got the snow, I saw zero sign in the field like I figured they would be there. And what happened is around the field there's a lot of hemlocks and pine. And so it didn't get all the snow. And so all the deer were like all bottled up where there's hardly any snow. So they were eating a lot of browse. There was a lot of thorn bushes and whatnot that, they were hungry. They were going to eat them. And so that's what I saw. And I have been seeing. And then we just got another foot of snow within the last 2 weeks. Of course, it's not deer season now, but.
Yeah, I guess they're no different than us. We don't want to be out in the weather either. I mean, if you can find somewhere warm, dry, not covered in 2 foot of snow, but that blows my mind. I wonder if you got a lesser amount of snow. Say you don't, how much you got on the ground up there right now?
Right now we probably have 14 inches.
Are you starting to see any sign in the field at all?
You might see a random track running across it, but they're not feeding in it.
Man, that blows my mind.
I know. Now, I'm curious, this summer I'm planning on planting at least something in the field. So I'm curious to see if there's, if I plant soybeans or corn, if there's an active food source, if they'll use it more.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they would bed in the pine field for food. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought of something, Elias. When we were at that, this would be our second spot down there where I said there was a bunch of turnips. There was not one deer track in that field.
No, there wasn't. Nope.
Last time I was there was late season archery, which was probably first, second week of January. So probably about a month ago. the amount of deer sign in that little field was unbelievable. The turnips were getting ripped out of the ground. I mean, they were pawing at it. I mean, you'd see giant hoof prints next to it to try and get to the turnip. But I didn't even think about that till now. Now it has now granted, it's a little crusted over now, but there was not a single track through that field.
No.
It blows my mind thinking about that now. Huh. Sorry about that. That just kind of baffles me thinking about that. I mean, there are whole turnips they were pulling out of this field, and there is not a single track in it. Kind of want to go out there and bust up the snow and see if there's any turnips still left or what. Are you looking for anything?
Well, I was up there last Sunday, I guess, doing some hiking. It was really interesting. The deer are definitely traveling different, as looking at some of the camera pictures and stuff. I did drop a salt block back out. Of course, I had pulled everything during hunting season. But I did put a salt block back out there along one of the main trails. The deer really liked that last year. So that helps, it's in between where they bed and where they like to feed. We have a small food plot in front of the one cabin. We had, get a lot of activity there. So yeah, it's just interesting to see how they travel where they're trying to get food. Yeah, most of our mountain's dead, but they're eating off some of the late berries and leaves, mostly underbrush is really chewed up. But
yeah. Now, I know you had said you had some fields, some bean fields and whatnot down below your farm or your camp there.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time you were up there, but are you seeing them down that way? Or, I mean, I don't know what the terrain is there. Is there like hemlocks or pines right near the field, or do you see them much down that way? Or
Yeah, we did. I'm trying to think here. On our way out, which I was only up there during the day, but on our way out, I saw, I don't know, it was a 15, 20 deer that were down, back on the fields, trying to get the last of the beans and the corn out. So that definitely is going to hurt my early archery season again, just because the deer know there's a lot of food down on them fields, but maybe with some good early food plots that can help. But yeah, definitely hurts the postseason tracking the deer herd.
right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, whatever bad thing about the snow is obviously it's a lot harder to find sheds because it's buried under the snow. Which that's one thing that I am going to be trying to look for, because I do believe that, like, or at least in our instance, our 2021-2022 season starts late season of 2021, 2020, 2021, late season. So, and a little bit post right now. Great time to get out to kind of figure out where those deer are, where their main territory is, because those buck obviously go back to their main. Yeah.
Their core.
Right, exactly. And so I think shed hunting, I think, is a great way to kind of figure out what's in the area. Shed hunting's not necessarily an easy thing, but finding those sheds really helps out with kind of depicting where those mature buck are. And a lot of people struggle with shed hunting for a lot of reasons. Got to check main trails, food sources, but a big thing is, if there's no buck in the area, you're not going to find those buck. Rut, they're always moving around, but when they're back in their core areas, those buck can just vanish. So if you're not in an area looking for sheds where that's not his core area, you're not going to be finding those sheds, or at least it's going to be a lot more difficult too. So, I mean, personally, I think shed hunting and finding those sheds, finding those core areas is huge for especially early archery.
Getting in their bedroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I like it. You know, most of the time you find a path that, for me, leads away from I shouldn't say leads away. If you find a good trail coming into a food source and you follow that trail back, you're going to find their bedroom. You're going to find and from there, you're going to find whether it's doe bedding, buck bedding. You may bump them out, but those deer have that food source. And with early season, depending on where you're at, they're not always relying on that food source. So you got to take into effect the other food sources in that area. Whether you think early season they're going on acorns and just browse or what, because so in my instance with the pheasant hunters down on the bottom, those deer aren't hitting those fields till late at night. So.
Yeah, for late season tracking, scouting, for instance, right by my house, I've lived here quite a bit, so I know the area really well. During rut, we see buck all the time. They're always moving through. During this time of the year, they're gone. You're not going to see them. They're just not in the area anymore. It's a high doe area, but the buck just are not here at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, long story short, get out there, get after it. All right, guys. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap this one up. What do you guys think? Good? Anything else to add?
Nothing comes to mind.
All righty. Well, thanks for watching another one of The Real Deal, and we'll see you next time.